And then there were two. Alabama's closely watched Republican Senate primary down to Senator Luther Strange and former Alabama Supreme Court Justice Roy Moore. President Trump had been pushing for the incumbent, tweeting out, "Wow, Senator Strange, Luther Strange, picked up a lot of additional support since my endorsement. Now in September runoff, strong on wall and crime." Joining us right now in his first national interview since the outcome, Alabama Republican Senator Luther Strange. Good to have you here, Senator. Welcome.
I'm glad to be on. Thank you very much.
You came in second. You disappointed?
No, I'm very encouraged. Actually, the game starts over. We had 9 people in the race, and so it ended up being 8-on-1. My being the incumbent, of course, you're the target in a primary like that. Now it's a 1-on-1 race with Judge Moore, and I feel very good about where we are.
By the way, I should point out we did call Judge Moore to see if he would come on as well. We are waiting to hear back from him. But now the going gets tough. You're in the runoff. What do you think is going to help position you versus your opponent?
Well, I think that helps me the most is I spent 6 years as Attorney General, successfully suing the Obama administration, protecting the Constitution. A lot of success there. Then since I've been in the Senate for the last few months, I've been very consistently supporting the president's agenda, confirming Neil Gorsuch, for example, voting to repeal and replace. So I'm really running on a record of can-do conservative accomplishments, which is really what the people in our state want from their senator.
You know, the president is increasingly finding himself in a challenging spot. I'm sure you saw the news today. So many CEOs were abandoning his business councils, and so he then got out in front of it and abandoned those councils, perhaps first in a preemptive move. It presents a challenge for someone like yourself in that you're getting this backing from the president and you say you support his agenda, but if he's challenged, does that affect you?
Well, I don't think so. I had a good phone conversation with the president today. He wished me well. We talked about issues, really, which is what the people that I talk to as I travel the state care about. You know, they're really focused on when are we going to get relief from the Obamacare disaster. It's really hurting the citizens here in Alabama. But also, when are we going to get tax relief for citizens? When are we going to build a wall? I've talked a lot about, removing the oppressive regulatory system that's affecting so many individual businesses and individual citizens. Those are the kind of things that I'm talking about, and I think the president's position on those issues are the reason why he got such tremendous support here in Alabama and around the country. So I'm hoping that this campaign will go back to the issues that actually affect people's lives in the real world.
Yeah, look, I hear you. I mean, unfortunately, it's been a little derailed in terms of what the president's narrative is right now, in part because of that press conference yesterday. Here, I want to share with you Senator Gartner's comments on exactly that. Here we go.
The president should have immediately denounced the racism, the bigotry, the hatred that he saw in Charlottesville. The president should have done that immediately. And what he did today again, goes back on what he said yesterday, and that's unacceptable. The president was wrong to do that, and I've said that loud and clear. And so the president has control over his staff. But what I'm saying is this: there is no room for racism, hatred, or KKK.
Do you agree with the Republican senator?
Well, I agree with Corey and all my colleagues that there's no place for religious bigotry, racism, the KKK, these white supremacists. I am a former Attorney General, and I'm glad that Jeff Sessions is coming down as hard as he possibly can on them. But in my conversations with the president...
Okay, finish your thought, because I think part of that, what he was saying, was that the president should be coming down much, much harder on these extremists. And I guess I would ask you, do you agree with that, sir?
Well, I did agree with the statements a couple of days ago where he forcefully and very demonstrably condemned, excuse me, the KKK and these groups. I wasn't, because I was tied up in the election, able to see the press conference yesterday, but everything I've seen from the president makes me feel like he agrees with all of us in this country.
You didn't see the press conference yesterday. All right. Well, the concern, I'll share some of it with you, and not that we want to relive all that. But the concern, of course, Senator, is that, he already had come out and made a statement, 2 statements, one over the weekend, one on Monday. And by engaging the media as he did, he basically opened a kind of Pandora's box and gave them this opportunity to keep hitting him with, allegedly being somehow tied to this extremism, which is something that he has to fight back on and he didn't. Instead, he just went back and forth with the media on this. Was that a
Well, I hate to second guess it, so I wasn't there, didn't see it, but you know, the press likes to second guess the president. The president likes to take on the press, and so I just hope we can all agree, and I know we can, that racism and this kind of behavior in Charlottesville is totally unacceptable and needs to be punished to the maximum extent of the law.
Could he have chose his words better? Could he have maybe tried to not flame the situation, in your view?
Well, I'm not condoning. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I hope he didn't condone anything that happened. I didn't understand that he did, but I expect if there's any uncertainty there, he needs to clarify that, and I'm sure he will, because we all agree this is not America to allow that kind of thing to go on. It's just horrible.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Well, thank you very much. Good to see you, Senator.
Thanks again. Appreciate you having me on.
All right.
Thanks.